Looking back on our time here, we'll remember the experience of being part of it.
This experience can be split into countless moments, often shared and sometimes small, always different.
Collectively, these moments have changed us. We arrived nervous but eager, and immediately together in this, although we probably didn't realise it at first. Since then, we've had sleepless nights, late nights, and even later nights. Early mornings, long afternoons, long summer days. We've made friends, made best friends, and friends for life, with who we've learned, loved, comforted, challenged, and played.
We have laughed hard, worked hard, tried our hardest and lived even harder, fiercely proud to be part of this family with its unbreakable spirit and determination to succeed. We will move on from here with bigger minds and even bigger hearts, with incredible stories and bright futures. It has been worth every minute. Our moments in this place, Loughborough University, have been unforgettable.
It gives me great pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to a very warm and sunny Loughborough. Of course, everybody knows that Loughborough is always warm and sunny. Let me also recognise those of you that have travelled a goodly distance to be with us today. And it now gives me great pleasure to formally open this afternoon's degree ceremony. You're very welcome.
Chancellor, Deputy Mayor, graduands, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a special day, and as Vice-Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to this graduation ceremony. For many of you, it will have taken 3, 4, or perhaps even 5 years since you first arrived at Loughborough University to get to this point. Well done, and many, many congratulations. Let me also take a moment to greet those of you who have joined us via our live webcast. Please don't let the fact that you're not here in the room with us in person dampen your cause for celebration. I know personally of at least one dad who's watching us over in Australia. Loughborough students constantly remind me that social media brings us all just a little bit closer together, ladies and gentlemen. So whether you're here or on the other side of the world, get ready to tweet, FaceTime, Snapchat, I'm down with the kids, or whatever your preferred method of communication is. Those of you sitting immediately in front of us from the School of Social Sciences, the Centre for Academic Practice, and Loughborough University London are proof that Loughborough attracts excellent students and we graduate highly talented individuals. But, and it is a big but, a Loughborough degree is only one part of what you will need to make you wise and respected. As I get older, I realise that the only thing that speeds up is time. But as much as it's true to say that time is a thief, it also leaves something in exchange. With time comes experience, and however unsure you may be about the rest of the world, your own confidence and abilities will grow. A Loughborough degree and the experience that time brings are the perfect combination to reach for the stars. And how about the rest of you, ladies and gentlemen, mums and dads, grandparents, brothers, sisters, and I know in some cases the husbands, wives and children of the 2019 graduating class? Well, today is your day too. No small part of their success will have been due to your unstinting support. And let me be the first to thank you on their behalf. Of course, what many of you sitting at the front don't know about are the sacrifices that those around you have made to enable you to be here today, sharing your tears, celebrating your successes, being your life support system when you've needed one. So, graduates, what I would like you to do, please, is stand up, turn around, try to spot your family and friends and join me in applauding them for the love and support that they have given to you. There's one guy here who's really in the mood, isn't he? Thank you very much. Loughborough is an outstanding academic community. We have an enviable reputation for our research, teaching and learning, enterprise and innovation, and last but by no means least, with our Chancellor with us today, of course, sport. Each year, specifically for graduation, we prepare a short film that attempts to capture all of the special moments at the university, or at least some of them, over the last 12 months. Would you like to see this year's film? That's the right answer. Here it is. Happy with that? Lovely. That's very kind. No one can doubt Loughborough's preeminence in the student experience. Our Gold Award for Teaching Excellence was reconfirmed earlier this year. We regularly top the Student Experience Survey in the United Kingdom, and we were crowned Times and Sunday Times University of the Year. And to those of you who are graduating from your first degrees, remember being hassled to complete the National Student Survey. Do you remember that? Lots of nods. Well, guess what? We've risen from 10th to 3rd in the UK and 1st in England. So thank you all for your outstandingly positive feedback. Dare I say it, you're all my new best friends. Part of our success is down to the relationship between the university and Loughborough Students' Union, whether it's the sabbatical officers or the many other students that are involved in LSU as programme presidents and programme reps with Loughborough Sport, with RAG, with Action, whatever it is, you've all made a positive difference and you have contributed to our success. This is also a day for celebrating a university medalist. Each year, we award the University Medal in recognition of the exceptional achievements of staff at the university. And today, we are presenting a medal to Martha Wershing. We'll be hearing more about her success and contribution to the university later. But Martha, I'd like to take this opportunity to both welcome you this afternoon and also congratulate you. I'm delighted that you're with us. There's one further group of people that I'd just like to mention and acknowledge on the graduates' behalf, and of course that's my colleagues. Your lecturers have played an important role in getting you here today. I recognise one or two of you in the room that even I have lectured to, and you survived. There are many other people working behind the scenes who are equally important, not least to ensure that today, like today, runs smoothly. On your behalf, I'd like to thank everybody who works at Loughborough for creating a truly outstanding university. Ladies and gentlemen, would you all please join me and applaud their hard work, which ensures this place continues to go from strength to strength. So, we shall shortly launch you into the wider world. As you graduate, you become a Loughborough alumnus and member of the university's extended family around the world. But before that, you might like to think and reflect, if only for a moment, on what you have learnt at Loughborough and what we have done to try and prepare you for the things to come. Here are just 5 thoughts. 1. Be cheerful. You have a million things to be cheerful about. And if you can't be cheerful, at least don't whinge. Doesn't get you anywhere. No one will think you're great for whinging. No one will promote you for doing so. When was the last time you heard someone say, let's invite Peter and Jane to the party, they're great whingers? 2, with a little luck, you folks will probably live for another 70 years or so. So don't bore yourself to death with a dull job. Take some risks. I don't mean driving at 100 miles an hour or skydiving without a parachute, but take risks to find an interesting, challenging, perhaps difficult, but undoubtedly fulfilling profession. 3, I need to warn you that at times life will be fraught with problems, but I can also promise that every problem has a solution. It's just that sometimes it isn't right in front of you, and that's probably because it's not supposed to be. Sometimes the solution is just sitting, waiting behind your next mistake. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, just make sure that every mistake is a new one. 4, don't let money be your primary goal in life, but rather interesting, enlivening activity that brings out the best in you and allows others to see you as you truly are. 5, try putting your mobile phone down once in a while and walk down the street with a smile on your face. In a world measured all too frequently by numbers, think about your own benchmarks of success. Quantifying life, in my view, is oversimplistic and misses the human values that make the world a better place. The positive effect that each and every one of you can have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Finally, and to draw to a conclusion, you may just be wondering where your life will go from here and how things are going to work out. Well, let me be the first to say, you're all going to be absolutely fine. And how do I know that? Well, for starters, from up here, you're all incredibly good looking. But you've also just completed a phenomenal education at one of this country's top universities, which is the foundation of a constructive and meaningful life. So, members of the class of 2019, this is your mission. When you leave the friendly confines of Loughborough University, never be discouraged, never hold back, give life everything you've got. If you act with a genuine sense of decency and kindness, I tell you, everything else will fall into place. My colleagues and I are and always will be very proud of you all, what you've achieved and what you have contributed to this university. We are all tremendously grateful to you for that. And of course, I personally wish you every success with whatever it is you have chosen to do next. Bon voyage.
In Geography and Sport Management, Giacomo Palmiero. Dorian Adair. Jonathan Andrew. Benjamin Phillips. Gregor Roberts. Vasiliki Spencer. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of candidates at this congregation.
The Chancellor has just said to me, that was a long one. Just before we processed in, I turned to Lord Cohen and said, they're bound to be lively. This is the social scientists. You did not let me down. And can I just, I'm sure you'd want me to just congratulate the Dean on reading that list so well. Professor Clifford, well done. As many of you know, we have gold Loughborough pin badges. This is our equivalent of a gold Blue Peter badge. Professor Clifford, this is your badge. Chancellor, you have now met all of the graduates being presented to you at this ceremony, and the moment has come for the formal conferral of degrees and other academic distinctions of this fine university. I therefore ask you, please, to confer awards on all of those presented to you this afternoon.
Vice-Chancellor, thank you. I have a little bit of housekeeping before I send you on your way. By the authority vested in me in accordance with the Royal Charter of Loughborough University, I confer degrees and other academic distinctions on all those presented to me at this ceremony. Many, many congratulations. Thank you, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests. I know it's been a long afternoon, and I don't really want to detain you any longer than is strictly necessary this afternoon. But I know that I speak on behalf of the whole of the university, the distinguished guests that have joined us this afternoon, the academic teams that I share this platform with, when I give you my wholehearted congratulations for this momentous moment, this momentous milestone in your lives. And it does genuinely give me the greatest of pleasures to be able to probably be the first person to address you as Loughborough graduates. And to the guy that said to me that he liked my tie, you're now entitled to wear one of these. Available on any good store on the campus. I'm sure we can actually get you one if you have your cash, not cash, I suppose it's a cashless society we now live in. But you are entitled to wear one of these, and I will sort of refer to that a little bit later. This is unquestionably your day. The accolades have already been flowing, and I'm sure they'll be flowing with lots of other things until the early hours of the morning. But before I plough on, let me just bear with me for a few moments, because I know that you would want me to salute, as Bob, the Vice-Chancellor, quite rightly referred to, as the people around you. I call them the ecosystem, that ecosystem of friends and family and loved ones, the ecosystem that has supported, has loved, and has sacrificed in equal measure. But let me also join that to my thanks, and I know you would want me to thank them as well, the academic teams that I share this platform with, because I know that you also would want to recognize the world-class teaching that has allowed you to be in this position today, and all of us to be able to celebrate those achievements. But again, shamelessly picking up on something the Vice-Chancellor said earlier, and it's always helpful, I guess, to cross-index your speeches. We'll probably do that in future. I've already discarded at least a page of what I was going to say. And that is that you don't just leave here with an academic achievement, important clearly as that is, and it's not the only thing that you take away from this great university. I'm probably going to carbon date myself, although one of the science professors this morning actually reminded me that you can't actually carbon date unless it's a dead organism. I don't quite plan to be that quick. But I would say that when I left here 40 years ago this month as a graduate, I always remember that occasion because my history tutor very helpfully managed to announce to pretty much the whole of the congregation that I was the only student that regularly handed in essays on British Airways notepaper. That I left here with many more brushstrokes on my canvas than when I arrived. And I know, looking at all of you, that you would probably accept that you also have a fairly, relatively blank canvas at the moment. There's plenty of room for those brushstrokes. And I'm also sure that you are genuinely surprised by the many things that you've experienced and absorbed here already that have shaped the way that I hope you see the world, shaped the vistas and the visions that maybe were unforeseen before you arrived here, and I guess already shaped so many different things and aspects of your life. I hope high on the list of takeaways here is confidence, and again, the Vice-Chancellor referred to that this morning. I hope you leave here with the confidence that you have gained to challenge the status quo, not to be afraid to challenge the orthodoxies of the day, certainly the confidence to challenge yourselves and press those boundaries. And as the Deputy Vice-Chancellor referred this morning, the confidence that your abilities from this university will grow. We've all sort of, I guess, been luxuriating in an extraordinary weekend of sport. I do have to point out, of course, with great pride, that most of the things that were achieved over the course of an extraordinary British weekend in sport were achieved with no little support and guidance, whether it was administrative or coaching, from this great university. I'm also left to reflect that when you see sport at its best and at its highest level, who on earth really needs reality television? But that's for another day. Continuing the carbon dating theme, I arrived here in 1976. And I was told at the time by the coaching intelligentsia of what was the old British Amateur Athletics Board, and that's probably why it no longer exists, that I would never be quick enough to be an 800-metre runner or tall enough to be a decent 1,500-metre or miler. 3 years later, I left to this great institution, holding the world record at all three distances. And the only reason I make that point is not simply to point to the world-class coaching that I received from many people and the scientific support from many people in this university and still operating in this university, but something actually more important, that this university gave me the confidence to go away and dismantle physically and mentally some of the confinements, some of the horizons of negativity that everybody sort of posed to me at the time. And like you, I had the great good sense to choose to come to Loughborough. Actually, the older I get, the more I'm convinced that sport, you don't choose your sport chooses you. And maybe likewise here, that you haven't just chosen this university, we've probably had a gentle, deft hand in choosing you. That's for another day. But what I do know today is that I hope you realize you are all extraordinarily talented people, that you know a great deal more about yourselves than you did when you arrived here, and that you also now know that you have all the raw materials to go away and succeed and flower in whatever direction life takes you. And I know that because you are all Loughborough graduates. What could possibly go wrong? I'm going to leave the last word to somebody I actually met on the, I guess you could say, the third leg of that extraordinary weekend of British sport. I went to the British Grand Prix. And on Saturday, I was hosted in the Ferrari motorhome. I probably think about it now. I have to register that in the House of Lords Register. It's a good aid memoir. And in the sort of, conversational dance that you always have on those occasions, I was sitting next to somebody who told me that he was the commercial director for Ferrari. And I asked him how he got into that position. And he said, it was really funny because I'm a Loughborough graduate. I left here, like many of you in the hall today, with a degree in politics. I guess looking at Formula One, a degree in politics is probably a pretty good prerequisite for working in that sport. And I said, okay, come on. I said, let's have a little bit of role reversal here. I told him what I was doing this week. And I said, if you're standing up here, where I am today, and you're wearing this robe, what would you say about your own journey? And he said, it's very simple. He said, I would tell them that never in a million years would I have seen myself doing the job I'm doing. And he said, I wouldn't have been doing that job had I not been at Loughborough and been given the confidence to believe that I could do that job. And I think, in a way, I think in a way that sort of sums up our day, and that's probably about as much as you need to hear from me before I dispatch you on your way. But I am going to have the last word, because I guess as Chancellor that's my right. You are all now firmly ensconced, enshrined, if you like, in the Loughborough family. I don't want this to sound like a slightly creepy episode out of The Sopranos, but we know who you are. We know where you live, and we will come and find you and continue to engage you, and I hope you will want to do the same in the lives of this university. Let me thank you for the achievements that we celebrate today. Let me thank you on behalf of the university for turning yet another extraordinary page in the history of this university. And don't go very far. We really do want to keep in touch with you. That's as much as I think I have to say today, or even need to. The rest is very simple. Just go off and have a wonderful day, and don't do anything remotely sensible. Thank you. No more housekeeping. Thank you for being with us. I formally declare closed this afternoon's ceremony. Congratulations.